What's up everyone, Nameco here, Fantasy Smack Talk, talking about DraftKings daily plays, but you gotta be in it to win it. There you go, corny or not. Sign up for DraftKings, use the promo code FST or follow the card link in the description below, deposit at least $5, and you will get entry into a free contest that I used last week to win the Big 15 Bones. So let me start with this. Last week, while the running backs that I picked obviously weren't great, my apologies for that, the receivers did well. So I want to make something very clear. Out of this list, you don't want to put every single guy in your lineup. What I like to do is I pick guys that are 5,000 or below. I see other sites that are like, here's a value, this guy's only 7,000. That ain't a value play. So I like to do 5,000 and below. You pick a couple of these and then you can buy up. I actually did very well last week because I bought up and I got Antonio Brown in a bunch of leagues. I had Brandon Marshall because I love guys on Monday night. So that's just the way that I like to do it. And the other thing I really want to get into is how I've been winning, because I've actually won the last 2 weeks, is doing the multipliers. I love the times 10, the times 5, the top percentage. I do a couple of those, and then I do a couple head-to-heads or the top 50%. And then I do one of the big $1 million lottery ticket, because for you to win that, it's got to be the perfect storm. So it's really tough. So just keep that all in mind. All right, let's get into it because this is what you really care about. We're going to start with receivers because that worked last week. So I'm going to start with the receivers this week. My first guy I want to talk about is Michael Crabtree. He's 4,600. They're playing the Browns. And here's what I like about him. It's the targets. If you watch Smack Talk, you've been watching, you know I'm a big target guy. These are PPR leagues. He had 16 targets last week for $111 and a touchdown. And while the yardage and touchdown's great, I just love the targets, and I think they're going to use him even though Joe Hayden's probably going to be checking him. The next guy is Mike's Fantasy Fix Pick Sleeper of the Week, and that's Allen Hurns, and I love this call, so I had to throw him in. He's only 3,700, which is great. He was 4 for 4 in targets last week, and they play a New England team, the Jags do, which love to take away the best option, which is clearly Allen Robinson. So he's going to get single coverage. I mean, the Jags got to know this going into the game plan. He's got to be getting a lot of looks. So this week, the theme's going to be targets and volume. All right, let's move on to running backs. Volume play again. Freeman. Coleman looks like he's going to be out this week, but season long, don't worry. It doesn't look like it's going to be that long because his ribs aren't broken where he's going to puncture any ribs or anything, so that's a great sign. But I do think he's going to be out this week. Therefore, Freeman is going to get all the looks. 4,600 against Dallas. I like it. The only thing that scares me about him is if he gets vultured on the goal line, but still 4,600, that's a great plug-in play this week. The other guy I'm going to talk about is also on the Jags. That's Yeldon for 4,400. I really do like Yeldon this week. This is a guy I'm finding in a ton of my leagues. Last week he had 25 carries and 4 catches, so 29 total touches. I mean, that's great, and you can run on New England, so even if they're behind, I think they're still going to use him and lean on him because that's how you're going to attack, so I really do like Yeldon. All right, let's move on to tight ends. Got Crockett, Gilmore. DraftKings was sneaky with their tight ends. They raised some values. They understand it's been kind of crazy tight ends these first couple weeks. So Crockett, Gilmore, and he plays for the Ravens. If you didn't know, it's kind of a random name. The reason I like him, he's 3,300, so that's a great deal right now. He's the second guy in terms of looks on the team. They look at Steve Smith, and then the number 2 is Gilmore. And here's my thing about it. We've heard for years that Pitta, Owen Daniels, whoever the tight end in this system is going to get a ton of looks. Well, they always got banged up. Gilmore isn't banged up now. I don't think he's going to repeat his 2-touchdown performance. 3,300, can't beat that. All right, let's look into, here's a bonus guy that's over 5,000 by this way, make it a lot into my lineups, is Latavius Murray against the Browns. Browns are terrible against the run. I really like Latavius Murray, but he's above 5,000, he's 5,800. Side note, I said like 5,000 and below, so all right, let's move on to defense. Enough of that. All right, my defense this week is going to be Cincinnati. $3,000 against Detroit. They can create turnovers, and Stafford has been known to throw a couple picks at a time, and again, defense, I'm looking for a pick 6. Hopefully Talib gets one, and that guy's just nasty. I love him, so hopefully they can get a pick 6. I like the Denver, but I also think they can do good against the run and force Stafford to have to throw a lot. All right, in terms of quarterbacks, there was none that I loved this week. And like I said, I like those middle range guys, but there wasn't a great value. So again, I'm using a lot of these other guys. I'm using the Yeldon, Gilmore. It's really cheap, so then I can buy up and get like a Tom Brady. But if you want some decent value plays, I mean, Cam Newton's one. He's 6,800 playing New Orleans. And their passing defense just looks awful. So he's one. Blake Bortles, kind of cheap. I like that. They should be behind against New England, so that's another one. And then Andy Dalton, he's another guy I found in a couple of my lineups. So there's some quarterbacks for you, but again, I don't love all of them. I like using these other guys and then buying up. So just to recap, again, DraftKings is a PPR league, so use that. If you just signed up, make sure you go to the beginner section because that's I was in 8 contests, and all 8 or 7 of those were the beginners, and I got money in 4 of those. So the beginners ones, there was definitely, and I looked at the bottom rank, there were some bad plays. There's actually some people that had people that weren't playing that week, like Todd Gurley was in a few leagues. Like, the beginners leagues is the way to go. So hopefully you won some money. I actually am up the last 2 weeks. If you need proof, I can show you. So hopefully you're up as well. Let's do this for week 3. Find some guys, find some more touchdowns. Just loving some football. Good luck in your season and in your DraftKings leagues.